welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. It's cold. We're down here working on knives today. I got my Dutch oven out and I've got a couple of deer hocks in there, and I started cooking them up there on the back porch. So all I have done is I put some water in there. I put a quart of water is what I put. And then I put the hocks in there, and then I put some salt in the water, and the water's up to about right in here. I got 3 hocks, 2 front hocks and 1 rear hock in there. And then I cut up some green onions. I went down there in the garden and picked me some green onions, and I put them in there. And then I put a little bit of that Tony Chachere's marinade, that butter marinade. I just poured it in there. So what I've got right here is some peppers that we ground up. That is just dried peppers, dehydrated, and we ground them up. And I'm fixing to add this to that broth in there, basically. And I'll have to stir that in. I know that seems, I put a good bit. It seems like a lot, but the time it dilutes in that water, they really would. Yeah, whew. It ain't bad as it seems. So anyway, I need to get me I had a stirring spatula out here somewhere. I'm gonna have to go get me a spoon. But anyway, I'm gonna let that cook. And they can sit here, because I didn't want to burn it and I want it to cook slow. And I said, you know what, on top of this wood stove while I'm down here will be the ideal thing. And I have took to using these little tin cups because while it's cold, and I'm going to be honest with y'all on this this pot-bellied stove, I have got to make me another plate for it. But I can set them tin cups down right there on the top of that and it keep my coffee warm, because if I set it down over here in a little bit, it's cold. Because I don't just guzzle it down, I just sip on it a little. But this stove has a raised up plate, and if you flip it over, well, it's sunk down in. Well, I'm going to wind up cutting me a flat plate to just stick in there. It drives me nuts. It ain't completely slick on the top. You can't slide this over and be able to have room to set your cup to. Sometimes I got a coffee pot going. Well, I want to get started making tea. If my coffee pot's, low or whatever, if I decide, hey, I'm tired of drinking coffee, I want tea, I want, room to set my stuff. That's the only problem I've got with this stove. But anyway, I have been working on a few knives. Looks like we're going to miss all of the snow from the forecast. Kind of hurts my feelings. I wanted some snow, but, I realize the rest of the country is sick of it and hate it, but I like it. I'm cut a little different than most people. I'm set up here to handle it. Don't matter to me if the power goes out. It don't matter to me if I can't go nowhere. All that don't bother me. Everybody else is totally different. So I get it, but I set my life up to where I could enjoy the things I like. So I am trying to get a couple of knives done, and we just doing some stuff. I'm probably going to go cut some more firewood here after a while. I'm not going to cut a lot, but I'm going to go over there probably and cut some that's short to bust up for down here. Because, we're going to burn a good bit of firewood this week, whether it snows or not. It's cold, cold, cold. So getting all of that done. I've still got some deer meat up there. We have made sausage. Something comes up on my screen every time I turn around. We've made sausage the other night. We made several packs of sausage. We've got a pile of ground deer meat. I took a good bit of deer and gave to my neighbor. She's a widow lady down here, and I gave her some deer meat because I'm going to run out of room. So I've got 2 hindquarters. I've got a couple of scrap odd and end pieces, some sweet loins, couple more hocks. But there's 2 hindquarters in there, and I'm going to cut as much of that as I can up tonight and can it. And it's freezing outside, so the meat is fine outside right now. In fact, it's partially froze. So it's not going to go bad on me. I've got time. It's perfect weather to do all of this. And it's took me a while, but I hadn't got out there and just like bowed up and said, all I'm going to do is get this meat put up. I've been doing a lot of other stuff. But I'm tickled I got my wall up. It has really blocked a lot of the wind out back here. And I don't know if you guys have really seen it other than a short clip, but it turned out really good. I've got a couple of 1x6s rough cut. I'm going to box the end down there in, and that way I can dress that up where I cut it. But that old rusted tin looks good. I'll take you around there and we'll get a good look at it, because everybody might not have seen the little short clips. I have been putting some out. I'm using the shorts. I don't really like fooling with shorts, but I film them anyway for Facebook. My Facebook has grown like crazy. And so I've started doing them and just adding them to here. And a lot of them is comedy stuff, just carrying on me having fun. Not the serious content that I normally put on YouTube. But I'm doing it to help grow the channel. I mean, YouTube is the only thing that pays me anything. Facebook, I can't get it remonetized. I don't know. They paid me for 1 month, and then they tanked that. And I never wanted TikTok. I never had it. I found out, the government don't want you to have it. So now I kind of wished I'd have had it, because if the government don't want you to have it, that meant I probably should have had it. I guess I'm different than everybody. Everybody's, oh, it's good that it's gone. I don't know doodling about it. I really don't. I never had it. I don't know what's on it. Really, the same things on it's on Facebook and Instagram and all of that now. Because everybody is uploading the same content to all three. The thing about TikTok, I think, is they'd actually pay you. Instagram don't pay anything. They don't pay for nothing. In fact, I'm all but ready to delete it and just be done. But I've got a lot of people on there. There's about 25,000 on there, but they don't really show my reels. It's not, I don't know. So some of it, this social media deal gets frustrated, but now I don't really try to make my living through it. I'm using Facebook mainly to sell my knives. That is where most of my knives are sold through. So that is what I do for a living. I've got one clamped right here. This one is that glue sticks when it squeezes out. But I glue it, I put the pins in, hammer it in, and epoxy it all together. This is black walnut. So I've got some dressing up to do on it. It has been clamped drying. Right here I have Bodock Osage orange. And I put 2 pieces of leather on either side. What that leather does is allows that to squeeze in that pin. If it's protruding a little bit, it allows me to squeeze that on in there and get a good fit on my handle. And then I can lay my handles over here and I'll rasp them. So that is, so I've got 2 I'm working on at the same time. This is kind of how I operate. I get 1 or 2 knives going and kind of work on them together where I can, while one's drying, I can be doing something else. So I have got over there and cut out several sheaths, and I've got sheaths, and I cut them out in one pattern. I'll show you right quick. So what I do is, like, this is the Gideon sheath blank. So this is actually my pattern, and there's a line on it. I know that you can't see that line. Now you can. I cut it right there, so that makes outside. But this same blank, if I want to make a left-handed one, I know to cut it on this side, and I just swap that around. So I have got several of them, pattern. And then this is the Jonah. I've got Jonah sheaths. So one of them, this is the actual pattern. I was going to make a sheath out of it, and it had this blemish in there. It's a brand, I'm assuming, that was on the cow. And I don't know. I hated to sell it unless somebody just wanted that character. It would be very unique. But I've been using this piece for a pattern for quite a while. So anyway, I've got several. And this I never used because it come out very thin. It was out of another piece of leather. So I never used it. You can see the difference in thickness right there. And I use a 7-8 ounce leather. So got them to where I can start working on sheaths, and I just get over here and go cut them out and go at it. So let me show you my wall back here. So obviously I've still got tarps up on this. This would be the east wall. So I cornered right there, and I just put my lathing to the outside of the post, run it down, and that is a rough pine pole I cut, scabbed it. Hey, some of it looks thrown together. It's working though. Old tin that I have salvaged and saved. So I've got my lathe. I got a place to put in there. So now that all this is covered, it gives me room to do stuff because this lumber pile will be gone. That is what I am using to lathe and build and frame. And I've got quite a bit of 2x4s to use. So I'm thinking about, I've got to get some windows for that wall right there, and I'm going to put wood down that wall right there. I'm thinking about making my windows where they literally hinge out, because in the summer, this is going to be like an oven in here, and I want to be able to get airflow through it. So anyway, I'll show y'all my work on my wall. So I want to dress these right here up, and I'm going to box that in. Help keep the weather out. Anyway, it's a done deal. And I didn't really explain this. I'll get over here. I got to trim this out, obviously. I just cut it. But these windows are laid down sideways. They're supposed to be up and down. But for the way I am building, I said it makes more sense to lay them down. And I kind of wish I'd have fixed them where they would hinge out. And I probably could still go back and do that. So that is what's going on. I am working on knives, no big deals. Let me show you what a man drove up. Mr. Taylor drove up the other day and brought me 2 giant saw blades, y'all. You talking about make some Bowie knives and stuff. This one here is nearly 1/4 of an inch thick. This one is 1/8 thick. We'll make some fine knives. So I have got to figure out exactly what steel this is and know exactly what I need to, because they'll be heat treated. Those knives will be expensive. They won't be bad expensive, but they won't be $150 knives. Because once I have to go to heat treating and doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm very limited on how much of that steel I've got. It is good old steel. I'm going to keep this heater company for the rest of the day. We might go film some stuff. I have got some shooting I want to do this week. I'm tuning up to do some squirrel hunting. I need to go down there and check and see where I poured some corn out, if there's any squirrels ramming around. So we just doing a little cooking. Let me let y'all check on my pot before I let y'all go. Oh, look in there. Yeah, that's gonna be. Oh, it smells good already. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Cook right out here on this old fire, man. Hey, it's the old way. Do it like the old timers would have done it. That's the way I like to live. Y'all have a good one. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one. I'm probably going to fire this forge up this week, make a video with that too. So y'all hang with me. We're going to enjoy this cold weather.